Hello guys, here is Karuna. You are again on my Armenian Duduk channel. This short video I am making to add something to the previous ones about the correct setup and about the correct vibration, vibrato. So what I want to point out here again, so because I've already mentioned it before, so again I want to point it out, is the concentration on the upper lip while you are playing. Because naturally we tend to use only the lower lip and to make all the movements with this lip. And unfortunately when you do this, the upper lip and the whole structure of your mouth does not repeat the movement of the lower lip. So when the lower lip goes up and you are trying to make vibration, the upper lip kind of tends to be not much mobile in this case. It does not stay in the same position. It also of course moves like naturally, but not in that wide range which we need. So in order to make the sound more juicy and kind of bringing more spaciousness to the sound. And when you do the opposite, when you start moving the upper lip, not the lower lip from down to up, no? But the upper lip, when you start moving it downwards, so then you will notice that the whole mouth system start moving like in a more natural, more balanced way, and we start getting more space in the sound, more kind of fat sound. You can try it, and you will see a lot of difference in your sound. I sort of promise you this, and you will never get back to the previous position. So just the paying of your attention while playing to the upper lip, to the movement of the upper lip, so makes the whole like system, it brings it to the center more, and also brings the whole mechanism to the right movement. So you can check it by using the lower lip, like concentrating, paying attention to this, and then switching it to the upper lip, and you will see this change. What I mean by this is, like now I will move my lower lip, trying to make vibrato. You see, like you kind of break the sound in the very top of it because the movement is not correct. So you must pay attention now, like really attend to the movement of the upper lip. Instead of really like I'm moving the upper lip downwards. So this is what I wanted to point out in this video, and I hope you will enjoy the results of it. See you in my next videos. Bye.